Good afternoon, everyone. I am Joanne McLeod, and I am here from RFA, the Forces Employment Charity. I am joined by Rhianna from University of Winchester, James from TechVets, Kate from Building Heroes, and Martin from Ex-Forces Enterprise. And we are here to deliver you our first webinar for the EM3 Armed Forces Veterans and Families Programme. So for those of you who don't know much about RFA, we are here to provide lifelong support to veterans and their families with employment so that they can have careers after service for the rest of their lives. The Enterprise M3 initiative, Armed Forces Veterans and Families Programme, supports veterans with employment in terms of CV reviews, interview techniques, transferring their skills after service. We also support military spouses and partners, and for the first time we are really excited to be supporting dependents from the ages of 14 to 24 with their careers. So this Enterprise M3 initiative is part funded by the European Social Fund, and within that we are working in sectors such as tech, gaming, sustainable construction and medical technology. We're supporting the armed forces community with raising their aspirations and helping them get access to training opportunities, apprenticeships to help them get sustainable careers in the future. So why do we do this? The armed forces community often need a little bit of additional support with employment. As I mentioned a moment ago, veterans with transferring their skills after service, military spouses and partners. I am one myself. I used to be a medical photographer, now I'm a programme manager. My career has changed because I support my husband through his service career. Very often military spouses and partners step off their own career ladders to support their service partners' career in the future and look after their children. And with the dependents, they often move around many times, miss parts of their curriculum, don't have a stable social network, and really aren't aware of the employment opportunities that are there for them in the future. So together with our delivery partners, we are supporting the entire armed forces community with helping them to realise their potential and what they can do in their careers. So we're going to move first of all on to TechVets. I have James here from TechVets who's going to tell you a bit about what they do and how they can support our programme.
Brilliant. Look, great to be here. And I'm really excited about this initiative, and mainly because, as you said, we're supporting dependents for the first time, which is pretty cool. So essentially, TechVets are a non-profit. We were initially established in March 2018, and the whole point is that we would be essentially creating a bridge for people from the forces community into technical careers, you know, from the less tech or the tech-enabled roles all the way through to the most technical, because these are important career paths for them to get into. And I suppose that the key issue which you raised there is partners and spouses, you know, constant disruption in their careers. But additionally, we've also got the military service leavers who generally are becoming underemployed, a far greater problem, but also many of those who are unemployed. And what we want to do is to stop them from wasting that incredible experience and those skill sets that they have from their careers in the military, and be able to put those to real purposeful use within the tech sector.
Great.
Yeah, you've gone far away.
Sorry, I was just going to ask you then, so how do you support them then as part of the EM3 project?
So yes, we've got loads, and thankfully I'm not the expert. I always say if I'm ever the technical expert in the room, then I'm in the wrong room at the wrong time. So we've got the head of TechVets training, Colin, is going to be delivering a full suite of opportunities for people to access upskilling so they can then build their skills ready for those technical careers. And some of them are really, really incredible, and I'll run through some of the main ones now. First opportunity is with an industry body known as CISEC, and we're going to be running what's called a Cyber Head Start Bootcamp. And that's going to be running from the 8th to the 12th of August, and that's in the Aldershot Enterprise Centre. And it provides comprehensive, essentially entry-level modules on cybersecurity. And it will cover things like audit, compliance assurance, information security management, and also information risk management, securing systems, secure testing, and also things around operational security, both the management and the business resilience side of that, things like intrusion detection, incident response, and digital forensics. So loads and loads of stuff there, just within that Cyber Head Start Bootcamp. Again, all of this is aimed at people trying to build their skills that aren't coming from a technical background. So essentially, you need curiosity with some skills in problem solving, time management, and communication. But really, we just want people that are really passionate and motivated, and really looking for that next sort of buzz within sort of tech career paths. We also offer Microsoft Office Skills Package, and that's a one-day course. The next one's being run on the 27th of September. It's a one-day virtual course that is designed where possible to fit around timings, school runs, etc. Essentially, that gives instructor-led training in Microsoft Outlook, PowerPoint, and Excel, as well as Office Word. We run them regularly, so there'll be more on offer, but the next one, like I said, is 27th of September. We have an incredibly exciting route into what's called an Intergames apprenticeship pathway. And this is for those that are 18 years or over. And it offers a level 7, so a master's degree in game programming. And it covers things like C++ coding preparation course, game theory, game design, game engine theory, a bit about artificial intelligence, some important stuff around teamwork and understanding the importance of that in game development, as well as the importance of communication, multidisciplinary skills involved in that sort of work. So it's important to have that communication. Things like game programming and advanced game programming, data algorithms. You get an assessment at the end, but really good package. And then on top of that, we can provide support in sort of foundational level coding courses with C++, Python, and JavaScript, all relatively important, especially the C++, which can be used for prep for the Intergames apprenticeship, and the Python is always useful for any route into cybersecurity. We are also providing access to a company called Knowledgy, and they're running a program of apprenticeships around becoming a programmer. Really, really important, one of the most in-demand career paths at the moment, a real lack of skilled people in the workforce. And this is, again, to those that are 18 years or over, but we ask, that range is up to 24-year-olds as well. This will get you on a starting salary of £24,000, rising to £28,000 over an 18-month period, and you'll do 12 weeks of training, followed by the rest of that 18 months as a Knowledgy consultant. And then we also have, there's an organisation we're working with called Multiverse, who are providing apprenticeships in data, what's called the Data Fellowship apprenticeship, and that's essentially offering a level 4, i.e. a diploma or an HNC in data. Which is really important. Again, one of the biggest in-demand career paths at the moment, everything data, from business analyst, data science, and everything in between. We also offer access to the Google Career Search Scholarships, and these provide you a certification, a Google certification, which they're starting to now have on job opportunities that they're placing, not just for them, but also with an employer consortium. And essentially that can get you trained in data analytics, IT support, IT project management, data analytics, and digital marketing and e-commerce. I was forgetting which ones we have. There's a lot on offer. And then essentially the key here to wrap up is that you don't just get that training. Depending, if you're a partner and spouse, you can sign up and get access to the full suite of TechVets' offering, which also includes access to a community where you can tap into hundreds, essentially, of veterans and their partners and spouses who are in IT careers already, who can give you that straight from the horse's mouth advice and guidance, share their knowledge, their experiences, what worked, what didn't, and talk you through their lessons that they learned through their career change as well. All of this is incredibly important. It's going to build skills for careers in the future. It's very, very important that we look at this sort of skill building.
Brilliant. Sounds absolutely fantastic. And whilst talking about the EM3 programme as a whole, one of the main factors is about upskilling into those emerging technologies and those digital careers. So what TechVets is offering sounds absolutely fantastic for the Armed Forces community, to be able to get those skills and go into those careers that perhaps they hadn't even thought of previously.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think there's also a real importance to place on the fact that, you know, what we've seen through COVID, especially, excuse me, that standard stuff when you're live. So we've looked at a huge uptake in digital, and that's in every business everywhere. So whilst there's a slight lack of skills, there's also a huge uptake in the demand for digital and technical skills. What we're also looking at now is actually when we view a company or an organisation is actually a tech company, that everything that they deliver is underpinned by technology, whether it's cloud platforms, you know, Microsoft Enterprise or Google Enterprise Suite. You know, everyone's on devices that's accessing the internet to deliver services. So therefore, these are really important. And again, you know, we talk about the whole partnership and the ecosystem within EM3. You know, I know Martin's going to be talking, so I won't steal any of these chips. But there's a really important overlay there between building digital skills for specific technical career paths and on building enough digital skills and technical skills or understanding technology in a way that helps you if you want to start your own business. And you know, Martin will cover it. But I think there's, you know, we're going to cover the whole range of topics here, and technology will underpin a lot of what people do in the future.
Great, thank you, James. And I know that you've said that we'll go on to the ex-forces in a moment, but that brings me quite nicely back to what we do at RFEA as well. And so I covered what we're doing in EM3 as a programme, but not what we do in terms of employment and employability support within RFEA. So just as part of our programme alone, we have 2 veterans caseworkers, a spouse partner caseworker and a young person's caseworker. And our 4 caseworkers work on a one-to-one basis with the person, whether it be a veteran, spouse partner, or a young person from a service background. They really work with them at a granular level to establish what it is they want to do. Is it something that they haven't even thought of yet? Where are they getting the skills from that they've got? Have they already got skills that they want to transfer into something? You know, perhaps we might have a young person that has great skills in gaming from a social point, and that's what they like to do in their spare time, but hasn't even considered that they can go through TechVets if they're eligible as a spouse and partner or a veteran to get a career in that area. So our caseworkers are working on a one-to-one basis. They are helping people look for what skills they've got, how they put them onto the CV, how they show that experience rather than just I can do something, how do you do it? They'll work with them on individual job applications or applications for apprenticeships and things like that. And they will work with them throughout the entire journey. So even up to the point of job interview, helping with interview techniques and role playing. And then past that, once they've got the role that they're looking for, whether they've gone through training or not, they'll do in-work support to ensure that they are happy within that role and that it is sustainable for them. So what you're doing at TechVets brought me nicely back to what we do with that bespoke one-to-one service, in that we can basically put people through TechVets and then the other partners that we're about to discuss to get that training that they need. Thanks, James.
Yeah. I mean, and you highlight the point about finding out what they want to do. I think that's really challenging unless you've got someone who can fire the right questions at you and essentially put you on the spot to really think critically about what it is that you enjoy doing. And I suppose the benefit with tech, you know, or in fact anything that we're going to discuss on this webinar, you can do it if you want. I suppose the benefit of tech, it's across every industry. So it depends on what you want to do. If you're interested in gaming, you know, I said to my 12-year-old, if you're constantly concerned about how your game's buggy, build your own game. And I think the ability to get them into an exciting career path where gaming is actually being used, not just in gaming, but everywhere, to deliver training, you know, and sort of augmented reality is perfect.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Really exciting. Thank you so much for your time, James.
Awesome.
Great. Welcome, Martin from Ex-Forces Enterprise. Do you want to tell us about who you are and what you do? You're on mute, Martin.
Thank you, Joanne. Schoolboy error in the waiting room, waiting to come on. So thank you very much, everybody. Nice to be here. Martin Wing, I'm Chief Operating Officer for Ex-Forces Enterprise. We are a self-employment specialist supporting people in the armed forces community transition into self-employment or business ownership. Our modus operandi is about providing knowledge and information so that people can make an informed choice about whether self-employment or business ownership is actually right for them or not. And I think the or not is actually also just as important as whether it's right for them, because I think, Joanne, as you've mentioned, in terms of this project and what's delivered, it's about creating career pathways, and through that there are lots of choices that people are able to make. So whilst we can provide a lot of people, or can provide a lot of support to people who actually do make that choice about whether self-employment is a good career route for them or not, part of that journey is providing the education. So we run one-day self-employment awareness workshops to challenge people's motives, their ambitions, their expectations, understanding what is good for them in their life, and also maybe in terms of a work situation, to sort of try and understand whether self-employment is right for them as an individual, irrespective of what their business idea is. So that's really the starting point. And that's why I would encourage many people to just explore through this workshop what self-employment and enterprise skills mean for people, because I think there's things that will helpfully or hopefully take people on that next career step, whether it's a career in employment or self-employment, they'll be much better informed. The next step for us is then to offer a 2-day training workshop, which then very much gets into people's business plans and their business ideas, and sort of really pulls that apart in a way that people can again challenge their own thinking to understand whether it's going to be a viable business idea, or whether there's improvements that people need to make to the thinking that they've already had. So it's not a case that we're in this business to tell people, no, you can't. But what we are here to do is to challenge people's ideas and the assumptions that they're making about what their business idea is, so that they can then themselves make the right decisions about how they take their business ideas forward. So so the starting point for everybody when they approach us is about that training. And I think that training is well summed up by one of the first delegates that we got involved with through the work we did with Help for Heroes a few years ago. And they attended the program and then said, right, I'm really well equipped now. I'm never going to be self-employed, but my goodness me, I'm going to be a better employee, because I know what it is that business owners and managers have now got to deal with in order to make a successful business work. So that knowledge and information that people can pick up through enterprise skills, yes, it'll help them make sure whether they're going down the self-employment route is right for them or not. But if it's an if not, then great, it can mean that they'll have skills that will help them in an employed role as well.
Yeah, it sounds really fantastic, and it's like what you said. The realizing that self-employment is not for you is as important as realizing, yeah, actually I can go ahead and do this. So if you have someone that's in a position, then they come and do your self-employment awareness and decide that it's not for them, what's the next option for them with that? So,
well, the next option is to refer into the network of partners that we've got on this project, because I think if they've made that choice that self-employment isn't for them, then there are other people. We've heard from James already. Joanne, you've already outlined a little bit about what RFEA do. But I think then there's other training that they might be able to get access to, that they can also explore what career choice will be right for them. So the curriculum that's going to be available through the University of Winchester, and then the work that Building Heroes do in terms of the construction sector. And whilst we've got a focus within this project, obviously in the EM3, the Enterprise M3 catchment area, and there's a willingness in the partners involved in this project, we've also, all of us, I think we've all got connections outside of this partnership that we would be willing to refer people to if it was right for their individual journey.
Absolutely. As part of our team, we have a employer liaison and a skills liaison as well that are working with employers and apprenticeship providers out with the direct delivery partners for those who this route just isn't suitable for. So there's going to be many more options there as well. And just for those that are in a position where perhaps they can't get out to attend a course or things like that, childcare, other reasons why they might not be able to attend a course in person. Your courses are virtual within the Enterprise M3 area?
We run the self-employment awareness the one day in a virtual environment, particularly to help people who maybe have got those other priorities, and we run them from 9:30 till 4:30 each day, recognizing that some people might even have to dip out at certain points to make sure they're looking after their other responsibilities. So those programs can usually take up to 16 people. So there's usually lots of healthy debate. As people share some of their own insights and their own ambitions. The 2-day programs that we have scheduled, I think there's a course date in September. We are anticipating holding that face to face. The reason being that once you get into the detail about a business, I think there's going to be much more opportunity for information exchange and also building your own network with the other delegates who come on the program in a face-to-face environment. We realize that can be quite a commitment for everybody. If there are people who do want to still take the course online, then absolutely we will adjust the delivery model and build up a cohort where we can service that demand. Because as I think you've said already, Joanne, all of this service is available free of charge to people in the Forces family. So we want to make sure that it's accessible as we possibly can. And then for those people who are on that journey in terms of, right, I'm going to set up my business, it's not a case that the support stops with the training. We have a digital resource which is called the Knowledge Exchange Hub. And that has 3 primary objectives. One, there's a huge database of articles and knowledge that can be searched to supplement one's learning. Secondly, it's a schedule of other events that Ex-Forces Enterprise hold to support the small business and self-employment community in the armed forces sector. And then thirdly, people can tap into a business captain or a mentor to support them post the workshops. We'd initially make sure that people do have an outreach from us, from our knowledge exchange and mentoring manager, a guy called Dax Gearing, who is a veteran himself, and also has previously run his own business. So it's a case that he would be involved in reaching out to people, seeing what their needs are, and then helping them navigate that resource, which is the Knowledge Exchange Hub, so that they can either hook up with another business captain, what the articles might be, etc. We also do virtual and face-to-face networking. So once we get into the swing of enough people with interest in the EM3 area, we will see about organising a face-to-face networking event.
Right.
But also people will be able to tap into all of the virtual networking events and actually get connected with people outside of the EM3 area. who might provide different perspectives and access to different networks that will benefit any business owner starting up in this particular, well, as we know, a very challenging economic climate at the moment.
Yeah, that sounds really good. And it again, it does that whole, we would call it in-work support, but obviously if it's self-employment, you're getting that support longer term past that initial course, which is really great. And to have that support from people that have lived it previously is fantastic for the community.
I think it's essential that a small business owner gets that network of support. There's just to talk about one of the people that we've supported over the last few years, who's now very much in the public domain. There's a lady called Hannah Saunders who runs a children's skincare business called Doddle, and she was recently on Dragon's Den. She came on a one-day self-employment awareness workshop 6 years ago. She did her 2 days in terms of startup skills. She got a business plan. She joined the mentoring. She got involved in the network, and she has done a really great job in aligning herself with different networks to tap into different skills and different capabilities. Because as a small business owner, you can't do everything. So she's a great example of being able to recognize the networks that will actually add value for her in terms of her business. And our network is only one. You know, there are numerous networks out there that small business owners should tap into.
Yeah, that sounds great. There's quite a few for military spouses as well, isn't there, with the business networks that you could probably signpost them onto after ex-forces as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I see there's a question in the chat from Jamie Mackay with a question for me. Self-employment has seen a bit of a decline over the last couple of years. Is now a good time to start your own business? I think there's yes, self-employment has maybe seen a bit of a decline in the last year. With a full employment economy, people don't always have the push or the driving force to maybe go, or not as many people to go self-employed. I think the cost of living crisis at the moment for a lot of people, what we're seeing is that people are actually looking at self-employment as a second career, or something to actually have as a way of generating that little bit of extra cash. So it's not necessarily it's a business where they're going to grow and expand, and it's going to be a full-time job, and they're going to employ people and what have you. It's more about, can I do something which is going to earn myself a little bit of extra cash? So we are seeing at the moment a little bit of an increase. Is it a case that now is a good time? It all depends on the business idea. It's always a case whether the economy is going up or down. You will find some business ideas that are going to be really take off. So at the beginning of the pandemic, if you were into logistics and last mile distribution, okay, do you know what? It was great because everybody was having stuff delivered to home. But I wouldn't encourage anybody to start now, because the petrol prices are so high that it's actually becoming a barrier for people getting into the market. So it really does depend which sector that you're planning on getting into, whether it's a good time or not.
That's great. Thank you. And thank you for your question, Jamie. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Martin. You've covered everything really well there. Shall we bring on Building Heroes?
Hi, everyone. Firstly, let me apologise for the Millwall football shirt behind me. No one needs to see that. So apologies for any offence caused. So, okay, I've only been at Building Heroes just under a month now. I actually first attended the course as part of my resettlement back in January. I thoroughly enjoyed the course, but realised I wasn't as good as I thought I was going to be, hence why I work for Building Heroes now, and I'm not a self-employed tiler. So about the course, there is a lot of confusion. There's a few courses that run out there that are quite similar, but actually everything that Building Heroes offer is for free. And also, the other great thing about Building Heroes is we don't just focus on serving personnel, but veterans, even if you've left 10, 15, 20 years ago, but also partners and spouses. And I don't think that's widely known enough that we not only cater, well, we don't cater, everyone gets the same, but we have the courses available. But we want to make sure that people know that they are welcome to come on these courses as a spouse and as, you know, a partner. Part of, I think, the barrier is it is such a large male environment that it might seem a little bit intimidating, especially as, you know, someone who especially has been out of work for some time, to go straight into a course with military personnel, whether they're leaving after they're 22 or medical discharge or whatever. But it's a really, really welcoming environment, and we are desperate to have women, not only on the courses, but the construction industry as a whole is really, really lacking diversity in many aspects. So we are desperate to get women on these courses. What do we offer? So I think the one that everyone knows about, probably the most popular, is the property maintenance course, which gets you a CSCS card, and that gives you the basic level to be present on a site with all your health and safety covered. And the property maintenance course covers carpentry, tiling, plastering, rendering, and a little bit of plumbing and brickwork, which after serving 22 years in the army and trying to do brickwork, it is uncomfortable. I could have bought shares in Voltarol. I was really, really struggling, but I learned to build a wall, and I wouldn't have done that anywhere else. And I did it for free, and I did it in a fantastic environment, a tri-service environment, where the banter it just carries you through the 5 weeks. As well as this, we also do flexible online learning, and these are short courses that complement any role that you're going into. So they cover mental health, D&I, and some leadership and management qualifications as well. They are ideal for people going into different career streams, or again, someone coming back into employment, having not been in that environment for a long time. It kind of brings you up to speed with what work environments are like. We also do plant machinery qualifications, level 2, excavator, dumper trucks, if that's your kind of thing, if you're a JVC fan. And groundworks and civil, and it's just brought me to a question that someone posed earlier about their groundworks and civil. So the groundworks and civil courses are, if you're that way inclined, to lay pavements and curbs and do road drainage. Again, all these courses are for free. It's a charity, and we need the support, but more importantly, we need the people coming through the door and getting on the courses. And then with everyone that you've seen today, plus we have our own recruiter as well at Building Heroes, who helps get those into employment post-course. It isn't just a one course that you can do. You can do as many as you like, as many as your funding will take you. Yeah, and to answer the question that someone mentioned earlier, I'm just trying to find it, but that's yeah, so it's about the waiting list. There is a big uptake for the courses, obviously, as they're free, so they're going to be popular. But what tends to happen is people do drop out, whether that's because of work or welfare. Most recently, I had someone that just got SSCP, so it's an extension of their career, and they couldn't attend the course, but they will still stay on our system, so we don't completely get rid of them. You know, they can come back to us at any time and book on a course in 2 years' time, whatever suits them. But if you are on a waiting list, you probably won't be on a waiting list for very long, because there is so much movement, and we do now have 14 centres nationwide, so we're bound to have one near where you are.
Yeah, thank you, Kate. I think what's great about offering these courses within the EM3 programme is that as part of our programme, there's a push on sustainability, and to be able to support people into construction careers that they can then take forward that sustainable element of construction into the future. and like sort of do better for everyone in the future will be great. And again, as part of the entire programme, they could come to you. I know you've got your recruiter and off they go into employment, but for those that want to go into self-employment, they can come and get trained with you guys into the skills, the construction skills, and then go on to X-Forces to do maybe I could do this self-employed, and decide whether they want to go down that route as well, which is how it all works so nicely together, to help people get to where they want to go. And I'm just gonna put you on the spot, as a veteran and a spouse and someone that's done the Building Heroes course. So I think between us we've got a large amount of lived experience with us on the panel today. But what would you say to those out there that are thinking about going down that route and doing Building Heroes?
Even if you can't see yourself doing something manual in construction, and I know that puts a lot of people off. My course currently, there's a couple of guys in there. One of them's just done 35 years in the RAF, and he's struggling with the manual side of it. Construction isn't literally what you see, it's what's also in the background. So it could be within site management or HR. And all I would say is don't necessarily focus on what you see when it comes to construction. I saw a comment earlier that made me laugh. I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. And I was only saying that a few months ago. Don't just focus on what you see when it comes to construction. There's so much more beyond that. And as you said, there's so many avenues of recruitment now. Once you've got a Building Heroes course under your belt, we will take it from there and we will assist you the best way possible. So if you're thinking, there's no way after X amount of years in the army that I want to be a bricklayer, and I completely would understand that, just give a look at the website, have a look at the website and look at everything we offer and not just the manual side of it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you.
Last but not least, we have the lovely Rhianna from the University of Winchester, who is supporting with pathways into higher education and doing a bit more work on the dependent side of things as well. Welcome, Rhianna.
Hello, Joanne. Hi. Thank you very much for having me today. It's been really good to hear about all the brilliant work that's going on with the partners. So I guess I'm coming at things at a slightly different angle, very much a back to education route, I suppose. I'm Rhianna. I'm from the University of Winchester, which is a higher education institution based in Hampshire. We offer a huge range of HE courses here, particularly notable ones for the session today might be the game design, digital tech, cybersecurity, the medical science courses, some of which are offered both at undergraduate level, whether you're coming in on a foundation programme first onto the undergraduate, and then that can also go all the way up to postgraduate level as well. So part of my role at the university is a transition coordinator. So that means really helping it's outreach work really with local schools, colleges, organisations and partner institutions to help widen access to higher education. We want to get more people thinking about higher education being a viable option for them, whether that's just for a particular career path that they have in mind, general personal soft skill, hard skill development, or just something to fill the gap while they're still deciding what it is they want to do. That's kind of one side of my role, and we do target groups of individuals and students within that outreach as well, because we know that there are some individuals and groups from particular backgrounds which are more disadvantaged in terms of the access to higher education than others. So one of the groups I do work with is military families and service children. So Winchester have been a lead really in identifying military families and young people from those families as a group that does need a bit more support. So in line with the Armed Forces Covenant, which Winchester signed, we obviously believe that there shouldn't be any disadvantage from coming from a military background, and we want to open up opportunities to those individuals to come to university if they want to. I know that Winchester, the Ministry of Defence Employer Recognition Scheme Silver Award has been granted to Winchester previously due to its commitment to being an armed forces friendly employer, and the work that goes on to support the forces in the wider community as well. So yeah, Winchester is pretty much championing, I'd like to say, this work that's going on in the community and nationally as well. So in terms of, I guess, projects that we're running at the moment, the first of which geared towards young people and service children is something called our Creative Forces Days. So Creative Forces Days are run nationally. What we tend to do at Winchester is we run annual Creative Forces Days for young people from service family backgrounds on campus over the summer. So we usually split that up into primary schools and secondary schools. So we're working with children from year 4 upwards, really. And the day follows a nationally recognised format and a framework evaluation. And it's just a really good opportunity for young people to come onto campus to see what university is like, experience some tailored subject taster sessions and do a Q&A with our current students. And we try to get as many current service experienced young people into those sessions as possible, so they have, relatable role models for them to talk to as well. And there's also intertwined with those Creative Forces Days opportunity for staff feedback and sharing best practice on how to support the young people within their schools as well. So it's quite, packed full days, which have been really positive so far. So we're continuing to run those and working with other universities across the country to help support their Creative Forces Days as well. So yeah, that's specifically aimed at supporting young people and opening up university as an option to them. A really exciting project, which we are in the initial phases of, is our Positive Pathways into Higher Education project. So this is where we are working closely with the RFEA on this project, which has secured some funding from the ESF. So this is a 2-year project, and as I say, we're at the initial stages of it at the moment. But the project aims to support military families and service children to explore routes, the different ways in which you can get into higher education, while building skills and confidence to help you get there, really. So the first stage of the project that we're at now is a consultation phase, really. And I suppose this is where we as our M3 community can get involved in this part. It's pretty much a needs survey and analysis of what would be good to include in a transition package to HE. What is it that puts people off going to university? What are the biggest challenges? How we can support? What resource we can deliver on in order to help people get there. So yeah, there will be surveys and focus groups going on. If anyone is interested in getting involved in that, you can definitely get in touch. We will then use the results of that to inform a workshop program, an online transitioning to higher skills program. So that will run in the autumn time, hopefully. And yeah, as I say, solely based on the feedback we collect about what you need to transition into higher education. We will then do some taster events on campus, so getting military families from the community to come onto site and do taster sessions and bits and pieces. And alongside everything, there's a social media campaign, which you'll please do follow. It kind of debunks myths around higher education, and again draws upon some information about how best to access some of these courses as well.
Great. So, I think, sorry, I totally cut you off there.
No, it's fine.
So I was just going to say that we're really excited. Whereas we've got experience previously with veterans, service leavers and spouses and partners, the service children and young people aspect of this programme is completely new. So the research that you're going to do to be able to provide that positive pathways course is going to be really exciting for all of us. We're really excited to be involved.
Yeah, really excited to get started as well. Yeah, as I say, Winchester's a very leading body on this, so I think it's also important to mention the SKIP Alliance. So the Service Children's Progression Alliance is a partnership of organisations which was focused on improving outcomes for children from military families. So it's actually hosted by us here at the University of Winchester and supported by the MOD as well. So we've got lots of different hubs all over the country which support service children to university, and yeah, we work quite closely as partners with them, and hopefully they can also feed into this project as well. And yeah, it's just good to know about, really.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, Corianne. I think we're going to go on to have a Q&A, so we'll see if there's anything in there. I think we're going to welcome everyone back for that as well. But just to cover everything that we have covered, so it's a big project. We're providing that one-to-one casework support with employment, raising aspirations, training opportunities, and we're doing so alongside some fantastic partners. So anyone who is looking for that support, they can look at our website, which is rfa.org.uk/EM3, and there's 2 registrations links on there, one for ex-forces and one for the family, spouses and partners and dependents, if anyone's looking for that support. And now we will take any questions. So there's a question from Gavin, just asking what EM3 is an abbreviation for. So EM3 is the Enterprise M3 LEP, which is based in Surrey in Hampshire. So they are the LEP is basically their initiative. So we are working to provide the support on behalf of them. And there's a question there for you, James, about
I noted a couple. I'll cover the non-technical one first. So I suppose the best way to start that is that there aren't really any non-technical roles. So the way that we'd refer to it is a tech-enabled role, because essentially every role you're going to be having to at least use a computer, do some stuff, or a mobile phone, or something that requires technology. So there are a vast array of different opportunities and pathways into IT careers, that vary from, very low end sort of technical use all the way through to the most technical. When we talk about the tech-enabled roles, there are ways in which we can support people who don't necessarily have any technical background, and that can be from the basic digital skills course that we run through our Cisco Networking Academy. But the Google Career Search Scholarship Program is really useful, because, and this again adds to the comment about the overlap between ex-forces as well as actually building heroes as well. We've been discussing there people starting their own business. If you want to start your own business, you're doing the course with ex-forces, or you're doing the Building Heroes course and then doing some stuff with ex-forces. You can also get training in digital marketing and e-commerce, which is going to be, the digital marketing will be critical for your business, e-commerce potentially, but also things around like UX design and project management are also equally useful when you're starting a business. So lots of stuff there. But essentially, if you want to go into a digital marketing career, everywhere you look, everything is digital marketing. You're on your phone looking at adverts. Every time you look at a product, that is digital marketing. If it's on the device, which essentially is what we do most of the time. So these sort of opportunities are very important, and the career opportunities from these specific pathways, very, very wide, should we say. There's lots of different places everywhere. Every company requires these skills. And then the project management side of things, really, really important, because again, like I say, nearly every company now, if not every company, is a tech company. So understanding some tech, some digital, and the ability to run agile project management is also very important. You get the IT project management career cert scholarship through TechVets as well.
Thanks, James. Question there from Heidi. Do the apprenticeships include dependent children of over 18s of veterans? So yes, sorry, we support all, so veterans and current serving. So that's for dependents and spouses and partners. So it doesn't matter whether they're still serving or veteran, we will support. And with the spouses and partners, we also support those who may be divorced or widowed from service also.
Yeah, it's worth noting as well that for most of the apprenticeships through TechVets, it actually starts at 18. So the age range is, we're supporting dependents from 14 up to 24, but actually an apprenticeship is not clearly relevant for those that are still in school. So the 18 to 24 age range is the one that we're focused on for those apprenticeships I mentioned.
James. How do we apply? So I think there's been a link put up, but the website is rfea.org.uk/EM3, and then just click the registration link that applies, whether it's veteran or family. Question there for you, Martin?
Great, thank you very much. Craig, we have an ambassador who covers Wales, and actually that's Hannah Saunders, the lady that I mentioned earlier on. So I can certainly put you in touch with her, and also the central guy who coordinates all of the networking events that we have. The digital hub is obviously available to everybody across the whole country. So Craig, if you want to drop me an email, martin.wing@x-forces.com, I can put you in touch with the right people.
There's a question there from Roz. I'm not going to read all of it, but yes, absolutely, we can get in contact to let you know about what we're doing and how we can support and signpost and build those bridges that you're talking about there. Right. Any more?
So I would love to add a point. Alana's added a comment there about businesses not wanting to employ ex-forces. Actually, I mean, I would love to refute that. There are more and more companies every single day speaking to people like us on this panel, and I'm working with loads and loads of companies across the tech sector where we're building specific programs because they value veteran talent, and increasingly so the talent experience of forces partners and spouses, who actually, when we talk about the skills that are absolutely dominant from a service leaver, they're equally dominant in a partner and spouse. And they are essentially, there are four main areas that a big think tank was looking at the future of skills of society. And three of those four areas were around skills that you'll see quite common in operational delivery within employment. The things around communication skills, teamwork, leadership, being able to problem solve, all this sort of stuff is fairly much a day in, day out sort of experience for anyone in the military. And then when we look at partners and spouses, and we're talking about things like dealing with change and resilience, understanding risk, you're not going to get a better person than that, where there's so much upheaval and uncertainty in your life on a day-to-day basis. So, and we're supporting more than 17 people a month into some incredible careers. The average salary is over 50K. So it can be done. And we've got people coming from the infantry, from the tank regiment. This isn't just Royal Signals and radar specialists from the RAF. This is every different background, and people are making these routes. So definitely consider it.
Great, thank you, James, and thank you everyone for logging in to watch today. I hope we've given you some information. We're 5 organisations, all with one goal: to support the Armed Forces family with their careers in building the career that is right for them at this point in their life. So if anyone does need some support, do reach out, and we'll put you in the right direction for where the best support can come from. Thanks, everyone.
Brilliant, thank you.